for comprehension of the work we do, we have to add something about the concept of listening.
Yeah.
Listening is not just processing auditorily. Listening, and we just have to look at the anatomy of the ear. When we see the ear, we see on one side this, this little snail, which we call the cochlea, which permits the auditory part, which permits the hearing. But there is also this kind of bagpipe there, looking instrument, which is the vestibular system, and the vestibular system is known to help us to integrate the notion of horizontality, verticality, and movement in space. The vestibular system is there to give us the sense of weight, relationship with the gravity. That's not a little thing.
Yeah.
It gives us a sense of who we are in this world. The sensory system gives us the sense of the movement that we have. Now, when I say the vestibular system, when I say the vestibular system, I'm not naive. I'm not saying it's just that system, but we know, and particularly people in sensory integration know very well that the vestibular system is connected with the proprioceptive systems, the sensation, this, and what is beautiful, and we see it every day by listening to music, by seeing people being responding to certain type of music through certain type of movement, is that as soon as you stimulate the ear with sound, you get a movement of the body, the rhythm.
Yes.
Which means that the sound has an impact not only on the auditory part of the brain, it also has an impact on the body part of the brain. I like to call it the ear of the body.
Absolutely.
The body listen as well. We have to listen to our body. Many children in the autistic spectrum, for example, my point of view is that if they do not understand other, which is basically the theory of mind, the definition of autism, a breakdown of communication, because not understanding other as different of me, my point is that it's because they don't understand themselves. They don't understand themselves because they don't perceive themselves as an entity which has a weight, which has in which you can control the movement you make.
Yes.
I remember this child who was having two watches to be sure that if one stops, the other will continue. Otherwise, it's not going to be in time anymore.
Yes, yeah.
And the notion of time, this little hand moving, which is not attached to the body that I say. Well, this is really what happened with kids with the autistic spectrum. They do not have a sense of themselves. They don't, at the more severe level, they don't see themselves in the mirror. In fact, when they start looking at themselves at the mirror, it's already a progress.
Yeah.
The fact that they do not have eye contact, vacant, for me, eye contact is the best way of assessing listening. If they don't look at you, they don't listen at you. At the deepest level of listening, the body do not listen. They are vacant. They are vacant in space and time. Okay, then you have to start working on that, putting them together. OT is a part of that, but sound is so beautiful, and so beautiful in making this happen. And many people, and you know that, many people, senior people in the sensory integration world are looking, and have been looking for a long time, sound therapy, any form of sound therapy, to help them to complement the work they do in the...
Yes. Oh yeah. No, God, I mean, there's so many things there that we could talk about, but as you say, people who are very much into sensory integration, which I am, and I know you are as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it's really, I mean, when from a speech therapy point of view, when I look at how a child moves, I can nearly tell you how they're going to talk.
Interesting.
Because you can see it in the body. And when you say about that whole rhythm and timing piece, and we talk about temporospatial reasoning, everything, so much of what we do is based on time and space. But time and space then goes back to that vestibular and cochlear.
Yes.
So here's where, as you say again, listening with the whole body, listening with the ear, but also listening with the body as well, and how
Absolutely.
critical that
Yes,
is.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And the movement of the eyes, the movement of
Yes.
the eyes, which seems to be so far removed from listening, is totally related to listening. Is related to listening at two levels. First of all, the words that you have, the letters that you have in front of you, they are representation of sounds. If you do not have a good perception, sense of those sounds, those words are not going to be recorded very clearly, except in some people who are very strongly visual. That
Okay,
exists,
okay.
but not most people do not have that skill. And then there is another thing, is that the movement of the eyes, which is the ocular movement, what allows it? Well, I'm not going to go into detail about it, but if you start playing around with the vestibular system, and there are some ways to do that, you are going to see the eye starting to shake a little bit.
Yeah,
Which means this movement of the eyes is very much related to the vestibular system of the ear, very much related to listening.